What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing something I really don't want to do. It's kind of going to be a pain in the ass, but it's not a big deal because I have to do it. It's for the new daily NB. We are actually going to be pulling the diff. The housing is leaking. I checked the drain plug, I checked the axle seals, everything like that. None of those are leaking. It's the actual housing. I learned that I think it's silicone that's in there now. I have black RTV that people said are going to work. I found it online. I did some research. So I'm going to throw that on there. We just got to run to Home Depot first, grab a couple more jack stands, some PB blaster, and then get to work. So stay tuned. I'll be showing you how to pull a diff on your Nb Miata, and hopefully we can get it back in a day or two, and it'll be finally good to daily drive and get to work and shit. Let's stay tuned. Okay, so it's the next day since I recorded the intro and the intro only. I had some troubles yesterday and some shit came up to where I only could get a little bit done and I couldn't really record it. I really didn't get that far. I'll take you guys through with me what I'm about to do. Actually, I guess I'm kind of far. I just have a couple more things till the diff actually comes out. So I'll show you that right now. Yeah, so as you can see, I got the car jacked up on its jack stands and everything. So what I'm trying to do is get the diff out without pulling the exhaust, because the exhaust is pretty rusty since we are up in Ohio. Winters, they like ice in the roads and shit, and that's just what happens. But what we're doing right now, we've got the chassis brace off of the bottom of the car, which I'll show you in a second, and we're hoping that getting that chassis brace off allows us enough room to drop this down without hitting the exhaust right here, and then just pull it to the right and just pull it out of there. We think it'll work. I'm not 100% positive yet. I've been struggling with getting that axle out, which you can see it is almost all the way out, and that axle out over there. So basically what I've done so far is, like I said, get the car jacked up. I got the wheels off over here. We took the bolt out from the lower arm so we could pull this out, so we have enough room to pull the axle out of the diff. So that's basically pretty easy. You don't really got to do much. I tried to get this one out and they for some reason Loctited it, the bolt in here, so it's super hard to get out. I've hit it with hammers, heat, a whole bunch of other shit, and nothing's worked so far. So I ended up just taking the upper control arm bolt out, bolting that out of this arm so I can pull it forwards, and so far that is working just fine. The axle isn't all the way out yet, but that's okay. So we'll take you over here to the chassis bracing so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. So here is I'm guessing this is some kind of bracing for the rear. At least that's what it looks like for me. To me, there was a total of 8 bolts on here that you had to get out. There's one in this corner right here, one in that corner, right there, and then, where is it? Right here. And then there's 2 more up here and 2 more. This goes towards the front of your car, and this is towards the rear of your car. You can tell by just this brace right here. These are all super simple to get out, super easy to get to. No trouble with any of those. Those all broke loose, super easy. So that was pretty simple. I've been having troubles on getting that axle out, so I went to AutoZone and picked up a slide hammer with wherever I just put that attachment. Oh, up here. With the axle. So I rented this too. It says front wheel drive axle puller, but I'm hoping that it will work for the rear too. It just needs to slip around the outside of the axle. I don't see why it wouldn't. So yeah, we'll get this pulled out. Of course there's no there's no nut in there. That doesn't surprise me. But it does thread on, so it shouldn't be a problem. That is right there. You can see it threads. So we're gonna get this on and we'll see. I'll get back to you and see if this thing works. This is just gonna slide around to the back of the axle that's into the diff, and you're just gonna slam the hammer. I would record it, but I'm only one person. Holy shit, boys. I got it out. After fucking wailing on it, pry bars, everything you possibly could think of. I finally got it out. The slide hammer did the trick. Thank God. I should have just fucking went and rented it yesterday instead of fucking wasting my time trying to use a pry bar. But let me show you. So I ended up popping the upper control arm bolt off of this side and just moved this all out of the way. I just set it on top of this jack that's holding the arm right now. I went underneath the car. I put this part, it's rolling away. I just hammered it in to the back of that, and I just came out here and started just using the slide hammer with this out of the way. It was kind of just pointed like right here, and I just kept sliding it back, and eventually, of course, it came out, thank God. So now I'm gonna show you guys. That axle's also basically out. It's just kind of in the way right now. I'll jack it up. But for the rest of this, next we're gonna pop off these two bolts on the power plant frame. But after that, we only have those three right there to get out and those three right there to get out. After that, the diff literally falls right out. Oh fuck, I completely forgot about the drive shaft. We gotta also take those 4 bolts out of the drive shaft. That shouldn't be hard. But yeah, so I'm thinking we just actually go for the drive shaft first, then we can do the power plant frame, and then the rest of the diff mounts. So I'll be right back. As you guys can kind of see up there, we got all the drive shaft bolts and nuts out. You can see on the ground right there. Axles are popped out. The only reason why that one's not popped out is because I couldn't get the bottom bolt off right there. So I'm thinking that I'll still have enough room to move it to the left to pop the tiny bit left that's out of there. And as soon as we do that, we're gonna move it to the right. Since we took the bracing out, we have all that room, and see if we can drop it down without having to take the exhaust out, because that would be key. But now we just simply have a jack underneath the diff to support the weight when we drop the last 3 up there and 3 up there. Oh yeah, we also got the power plant frame. Where is it? Right there. Nothing bolts out. Or sorry, just bolts. They're super long. They are those. Okay, so we're gonna drop those 3. We might be able to show you, might not. Kind of all just depends. So we're gonna drop those 3 out, try to pull the diff out, because I think that is all we have to do. Hopefully it'll work without taking the exhaust out. I'm not sure yet, but fingers crossed. Yeah, wow, I'm bad at this. But it's the following day, so day 3 of pulling this diff and resealing it and putting it back on. This has been a total pain in the ass, because literally everything we try to do, something else is seized. Even though this car has almost no rust, looks super clean underneath, but it also seems like no one's ever been underneath it to take anything apart, to replace anything, which I guess is an okay thing. So, you know, not much is broken or something like that. But everything is so stuck together. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But my buddy Hunter came over last night and helped me. Actually 2 of my buddies came over last night. One's named Adam. He has a red NA that, if you're on my Instagram, you've probably actually seen before. And my buddy Hunter drives a Mustang. He came over last night too, and they both helped me get the diff out. Hunter actually was the one that helped me pull it out of the car the rest of the way. So you guys can see the diff is out right here. I already actually went around and took the housing off of the actual diff, the gearing and everything, and I resealed the whole seal around, or I cleaned it off, of course, used steel wool, and I just brake cleaned everything out, and I resealed, or not brake clean, but parts cleaned everything out, and I resealed everything, and already tightened the whole diff back onto the housing. So that's all good to go. A little bit pain in the ass to get out. I'll show you guys. So I showed you guys most of what you had to do under here, but I ended up having to completely pull this axle because it was seized super bad in that hub, and it was almost impossible to get out, and there was no way of actually getting the axle out of the diff from how it was before. So we just completely dropped that axle. We actually did successfully do it with the exhaust still in. It's a little beat up, but nothing no cracks or anything like that, so it doesn't matter to me. Put the bolts back in right here so we know where they are. But as you can see, this this axle is missing, and everything else is dropped. That's the drive shaft, everything. So we're good to throw it back in. So we're gonna try that, and I'll try to see what I can record for you guys. With this in, yeah, we didn't record anything. It was a pain in the ass to do. We needed basically like two sets of hands almost the entire time. So I had my brother help me out with just putting the whole, have my brother help me with the whole entire installation. I will show you guys right now, but the diff is in. It doesn't have any fluid in it yet. I'm not planning on driving it yet. I'm gonna let the diff sit overnight so the seals can make sure they're completely set. I know that people say that you're good to just throw it in and go, but I don't want to do that. I would just rather not take that risk. So I'm going to let it dry completely overnight, fill it up tomorrow morning, drive it to work the next day. So let's go ahead and show you. Wheels are back on. That must mean axle's back in, brakes on this side back in, axle is back in, This frame bracing, or whatever this is called, the bracing for the chassis, back in. Those bolts up there, back in. Everything is in and should be good to go. I need to make sure this drain plug is tight tomorrow before I fill it up, but I'll remember that. It's not a big deal. All the brakes, everything are in all the way around. So again, sorry not for showing you guys the install as much, but it's kind of just the opposite of just taking it out, of just dropping it out of the car. Not really anything too interesting, to be honest with you guys. Just us fighting shit back and forth. It's whatever. I'll give you guys a couple more updates real quick. So I ordered my wheels that I've been telling you guys about like 20-ish days ago, depending on the date. I think it might be the 15th or 16th now, I don't remember. And I have literally got no news. Randomly in the mail, I got two boxes of wheels, or 2 boxes. Each one has a wheel in it, of course. Which I ordered 2 wheels. I ordered because I have a buddy that's gonna sell me the other 2 with tires and shit already. So I only had to order 2 wheels. Ordered them. Took forever to get here. I never got an email or anything about that for like confirmation or anything like that. And yesterday and the day before, while I was recording, they both 2 wheels randomly showed up, but they're the right wheels, or the wheels I want, but they're not the right size. I ordered 15x9s because we're planning on stretching a tire onto the red Nb and throwing these wheels on the black Nb. So I'm planning on stretching a pretty decently small tire, not like small tire, but a 95 onto or 195 onto a 9, sorry, I can't even speak, to throw those on. That's why I'm waiting on the 9s, and for some reason they sent me 2 8s. Kind of bullshit. Kind of mad about that. I messaged them like fucking 5-6 times. I emailed them. I left messages on their website. I had it emailed through PayPal and shit like that, and absolutely nothing. So I don't know what's happening there. Hopefully I can get my refund. If not, get my wheels. But yeah, I guess that's gonna pretty much do it for this episode, or this video I should say. The Black & B is done, gonna be back on the ground. You guys will be seeing videos on it soon. Just had to do a few things that it needed before anything else, like important, or the important things like the top, the diff, just address the leaks and stuff like that. Then we'll start getting into the fun stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Peace out.